Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, January 26, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here at Weather Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what would that be like in your year recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us, according to the latest Euro model that came out at 3:30 p.m. today, as well as the latest GFS model that came out at 6 p.m. today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go out to the next 168 hours, which stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes also focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So as we head into Monday, we see that we're going to be experiencing some amount of rainfall still plaguing northeastern parishes. You know the drill. St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, St. Thomas, maybe spilling into sections of some other southern parishes, maybe St. Catherine, St. Andrew. Heading into Tuesday, we see some moisture, especially to the southeast of Jamaica. Look at all of this green, lots of rainfall for sure, according to this latest Euro run. And even during the afternoon on Tuesday, we see some of this on land. Very interesting. Heading into Wednesday, we see the morning starting out with some rainfall across some northern and eastern parishes. During the afternoon, rainfall spreading to central and western parishes. Thursday, some morning rainfall across northern and eastern parishes once again. Afternoon, looking like rainfall across central and western parishes as well. Friday, what do we see? Rainfall again, northeastern Jamaica and eastern Jamaica as well. Friday afternoon, maybe sections of western parishes and inland areas of some central parishes. Saturday, not seeing much in the way of rainfall. We do see some dots of greens, however, to the east of the island. During the afternoon, we see some rainfall across sections of some southern parishes. We'll see how that unfolds. And then as we stop right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Sunday, February 2, 2025. The next 7 days show that we're having some moisture around the island. Nothing significant, but let us match what the latest Euro model is showing to the latest GFS. Alright, so heading into Monday, just like what the Euro was showing, some rainfall across the northeast for sure. During the afternoon, maybe some afternoon isolated rainfall across sections of some southern parishes, but nothing too significant at all. Tuesday, we see some rainfall across the east and the northeast. Then during the afternoon, maybe sections of some southern parishes. Wednesday, northeastern Jamaica once again with the rainfall. Southern Jamaica during the afternoon. Thursday, northeastern Jamaica once again. Then during the afternoon, still affecting northeastern parishes with some dots of greens across the southwest. Friday, northern parishes getting the brunt of the rainfall during the afternoon, southwestern parishes. And then we see Saturday showing some rainfall across the western end as well as the eastern end, and we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So just like what the Euro was showing, some dots of greens in and around the island, but nothing too significant. But where we do see a lot of rainfall though, it's across portions of Central America right here. We're talking about Panama, Costa Rica, section of Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize. The Euro showing those very same spots, but not as what the GFS is showing. GFS definitely a bit more robust with the rainfall distribution across Central America. Either way, in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast over the next 7 days, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Sunday, February 2. And we can clearly see that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be plaguing those areas that have the dark reds, that's 2 inches of rainfall, the purples into the pinks, that's 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, and even the peach colors, that's 68 inches of rainfall. We can clearly see that the most rainfall with those dark reds, purples, pinks should be plaguing northeastern Jamaica, eastern Cuba, sections of the Dominican Republic and Haiti's northern portions, eastern Puerto Rico, anywhere from Guadeloupe southward, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, sections of southern and western Venezuela, much of Colombia, especially the western portion of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, central to eastern Nicaragua, much of Honduras, northern Guatemala, into portion of Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula. And we can clearly see that it's not only the Euro model that we see here is showing this, but look at this. We're seeing that the GFS is showing something similar, the very same spots that we highlighted on the Euro model, showing the rainfall that's expected up to all of this in what we're seeing on the key on the right. So we're talking about the purples all the way up into the pinks and the peach colors, especially across southeastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama there. So there could definitely be some isolated flash flooding, especially where we have those purples into the pinks for those areas. So we're hoping that the people who reside in those areas are taking necessary precautions, that they're not that drastically affected by what's to come. But if we switch gears and focus on Jamaica's precipitation forecast, we can clearly see that the most rainfall over the next 7 days from now up until February 2, 2025 should still be plaguing northern Jamaica, anywhere from St. Anne eastward, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, spilling into sections of Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and GFS models are adamant that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be plaguing Portland, the Euro going all the way up into the 92 millimeter of rainfall range, as we can see here with the oranges into the pinks. The GFS going all the way up into maybe the 53 millimeters of rainfall range in the oranges, while other areas we're seeing yellows into the greens that represents anywhere from 15 up to 50 millimeters of rainfall on both maps. And we know that when we have agreement on the two models, the chances are higher for this to actually occur. So we're hoping that the people who reside in those areas are taking necessary precautions, that they're not that drastically affected by what's to come. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have ridges of high pressure right here off the southeast coast of the US, stretching and extending eastward. We can see another ridge of high pressure right here to the northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, and we see a frontal system right here stretching from the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down to the Bahamas and portions of Cuba right there. And we know these ridges of high pressure are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region through the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. First of all, the long line of clouds associated with that frontal system extending into the Bahamas and Cuba right there. We can also see the low to mid-level flow of the clouds pushing from east to west from the main development region into the Caribbean, all courtesy of the ridges of high pressure to the north, sending them to that direction. And some of these clouds definitely have some rainfall within them for sure. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean a little later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, January 26, 2025. It was stated in yesterday's video that we would have received some morning rainfall across sections of some northern parishes, also affecting sections of some southern parishes during Sunday afternoon. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, while southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? First of all, we highlighted last night that we're definitely getting in on some strong winds. As a matter of fact, we've been getting the strong winds all day yesterday. We definitely highlighted it last night around 9:51 p.m. as a post was made here not only on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but on our Instagram page with it Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we highlighted that the breezes are blowing up. Some very strong winds as represented by the greens into the yellows that we know represent anywhere from 20 to 25, maybe even gusting to 30 knots, especially on the north coast, some of which were spilling into sections of some southern parishes. Then on Sunday morning, we highlighted the visible satellite image at around 8:55 a.m. Pointing out some clouds that were bringing some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers, to sections of some northern parishes. We're talking about St. James, Trelawney, section of St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. We're getting in on the overcast skies as well as some isolated showers for sure. As predicted, then during the afternoon at around 3:55 p.m., the visible satellite images were posted. And look at the flow of the clouds pushing in from the northeast. Definitely bring overcast skies and isolated showers to sections of some northern parishes for sure. But we also highlighted that during this time, would have gotten on some clouds bringing some overcast skies and isolated showers to sections of some southern parishes, and that was indeed what took place, because we got the clouds bringing some isolated showers, if not overcast skies, to section of St. Elizabeth, section of St. Catherine as well. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before all was said and done, we can make out all of what was just seen. The clouds bring overcast skies and isolated showers to northern Jamaica, also affecting sections of some southern parishes too. But not everywhere got the overcast skies or rainfall at all. And if we take a look at the infrared satellite imagery, we can even make out a brief, at least convective kind of event across sections of inland areas of St. Mary. We saw the high cold cloud top as represented by the blues and the greens being sheared off towards the east. But it was brief, nothing too significant, though we don't even see any lightning at all. And we definitely have confirmation here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing halfway through at around 2:12 p.m. But we don't see much in the way of anything, more so in the way of partly cloudy skies, but that's basically it. We see the hills of St. Andrew definitely cloudy for sure, definitely cloudy, not see much in the way of sunshine across halfway through at that time at all. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams for your viewing pleasure, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today for sure, across sections of northern Jamaica, especially during the morning, and then we also had some rainfall across the south. So sections of maybe St. Catherine spilling into section of Clarendon, St. Elizabeth maybe spilling into sections of Westmoreland. This was definitely what was predicted. That was what we saw on the visible satellite imagery for sure. And we definitely have some comments here from some of our followers. First one here on our TikTok page from Sammy stating it's raining in Brownstone, St. Anne right now, and thanks for the update. This was posted 9 hours ago. We also have another comment. Let's see. We also have another comment right here on our Facebook page. Rowell Baker stating drought in St. Elizabeth. And we also have Soldier Boy Whaley confirming, stating that's what I heard. But on the northern and eastern side, we get rain every week, if not every day, sometimes, especially in St. Mary. Thank you guys for the comments. Thank you guys for confirming. Alright, so let's just take a look at what's happening right now. The very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. And the latest still image is as of 0005 UTC, which is actually 7:05 p.m. So this just came out 8 minutes ago, considering that it's 7:13 p.m. right now. And we don't see much in the way of anything across the island. We do see some milky whitish colors representing some clouds to the southwest of us, to the southeast of us, across the northwest. But that's basically it, nothing too significant at all. And the Cuban Doppler radar images confirm this. Is it gonna confirm it? No, it doesn't look like it, because the latest Cuban Doppler radar is as of 5:30 p.m. So I guess it glitched out, or else it would have been showing close to this hour right now, 7 p.m. But we do make out some greens out to sea to the southwest of us. Maybe some isolated rainfall out there. Could have been in line with what we're seeing here on the infrared satellite imagery. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery, we do see some dots of greens and blues represent some light moderate rainfall in and around eastern Cuba. Let's see, we can also see some rainfall across sections of the western peninsula or the southwestern peninsula of Haiti. And we also make out some dots of greens across sections of Portland too, right there. Taking a look at the Cayman radar, not seeing much of anything across southern Cuba, western Jamaica, or the Cayman Islands, but we do see some slight isolated shore activity to the west of Grand Cayman. If we take a look at what's happening right now from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing the flat bridge as of 7:15 p.m., you can see people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place. Doesn't seem like it's raining at all. Definitely going to be a fair night tonight across this portion of St. Catherine for sure. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday, and we can see Jamaica right here, embedded in some slight orange colors that represent up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, like what we see here on the key on the right. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of January are around 86.5 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius, like what we use here in Jamaica, that's about 30.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30.2 to 32.2 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. And unfortunately, we have some maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS Online's Twitter page. And we know that we have to point these out for sure, because when we have power outages, it can definitely make the heat even worse. We don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way. We're talking about Reach District in Portland for Monday, January 27, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are also referring to Cool Shade to Mile Gully in Manchester from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Huddersfield View in St. Mary from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Section of Cardiff Hall off Tamarind Hill Road, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's in St. Anne. And finally, we also have Rockland in St. James from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Either way, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors, and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine, as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated. Drink lots of water throughout the day. Put away those sugar drinks, drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. We can see the most intense dry air is right here off the coast of Africa, as indicated by those reds and those whites within those reds. You can also see dry air extending off the east coast of the US into the Gulf of Mexico, across the Caribbean. But we do see some breaks in the dry air. Some breaks right here across the southern portions of the main development region associated with the intertropical convergence zone. Some breaks in the dry air right here across the eastern portion of the Pacific, right there to the west of Colombia. And we can also see some breaks here in the dry air across the south central Caribbean. We see it right here to the southeast of Jamaica, to the south of Haiti, to the south of Puerto Rico, and that's what we want to see, because when we have breaks in the dry air, that means that we might have a chance at getting some amount of rainfall, some moisture in the area. We'll see how it actually goes this week. Either way, the rest of the basin seems to have a cap on top of it. Not much in the way of rainfall at all taking place elsewhere. In terms of the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Monday, we can clearly see that North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, Northern South America, and Central America are going to be in the clear, as all the browns that represent the Saharan dust should be across portions of the main development region. And we're indeed grateful that it's not over our side of the basin, and it's not that vigorous plume, as we know that can be represented, or that is represented by the dark shades of browns. We know that the dark shades of browns represent that vigorous plume that can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, not seeing much change at all across the Caribbean. Lots of purples into the pink. They represent 2 to 3 meter wave heights, stretching and extending right here to the east of the Caribbean as well. But we're seeing light shades of blues to dark shades of blues across the Gulf, the Greater Antilles, the Western Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico, represented from 0.5 meter wave heights all the way up to 1.5 meter wave heights. The waters to the north of the island, 1.6 meter wave heights. Waters to the south of the island, 1.9. 2.1 right here to the southeast, and that's because of the winds that are expected. Look at the wind direction. First of all, we see it coming in from the east, pushing to the southwest across the southwestern Caribbean, so more of a east-northeasterly kind of flow right here into Nicaragua. We see more of an easterly flow right here to the north of Jamaica, pushing into Central America right there. And we see the colors. We're talking about the bright greens into the yellows. They're represented anywhere from 15 to 25 knot winds. But if we get closer and look at Jamaica, let's see. We see more of an easterly flow tomorrow. Definitely an easterly flow, and maybe kind of east-northeasterly on the waters to the south. We also see the least amount of winds across inland areas of some central and western parishes. So who knows, maybe we might get some daytime heating leading to some isolated afternoon rainfall, and maybe some rainfall in the morning across the east or the northeast. We'll see how it actually goes. Either way, in terms of the upper level winds, we see those coming in from the west, nothing too significant. But in terms of the actual rainfall forecast now, both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are showing 5 a.m. on Monday, and we can see the blues represent rainfall that should be plaguing sections of St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, Eastern St. Thomas getting in on the mix as well. The GFS not so enthused about St. James and Trelawney, but definitely St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, Eastern St. Thomas. Then by around 9 a.m. on Monday, we see that we're not getting in on much change. Still blues represent rainfall across the north and the eastern sections of the island. Definitely, especially across the east at 9 a.m. Very interesting for eastern Portland and eastern St. Thomas. We'll see how it actually goes tomorrow morning. Then by afternoon, we see some blues represent rainfall across some central and western parishes on the Euro. GFS not that enthused with the afternoon rainfall at all. But we do see some specks of light shades of blues across sections of some southern parishes. We'll see exactly how it goes. Whatever happens, I'll keep you posted. We even see the accumulated precipitation forecast maps in consensus that the most rainfall over the next 24 hours should be across the northeast and the far eastern end of the island. Euro going all the way up to 0.49 of an inch of rainfall across Portland. The GFS going all the way up to 0.52 of an inch of rainfall across Portland. Either way, we'll take it. We're in the month of January. We're in our dry season. I'm sure that you guys have been hearing the fire trucks going around, putting out bushfires, if not building or house fires. So we're grateful that we're getting some kind of rainfall anywhere across the island these days. In Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, We usually receive up to 20 millimeters of rainfall for the month. That's close to 1 inch of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive up to 3 inches of rainfall. That's about 75 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of January or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the frontal system's line of clouds and showers still bring some weather to sections of Cuba and the Bahamas as we speak. We can see the low level to mid-level clouds pushing from east to west in that easterly flow of wind brought about by the ridge of high pressure to section of the eastern Caribbean, passing through into even Puerto Rico to the south of Hispaniola, heading into Central America, Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize as usual. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let's see what's happening over there. Alright, so what we see right now is some moisture to the south of Puerto Rico, affecting section of southwestern Puerto Rico as we speak. And if we load these images from earlier today, at about 1:35 p.m. we can see when the moisture was coming in, passing through the U.S. Virgin Islands, affecting section of eastern to central Puerto Rico and pushing westward. You can also see section of St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda getting in on the action, so to Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, we see some moisture passing through to the north of Barbados, pushing into section of Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We also see some moisture right here to the south of Barbados, pushing in from the east to affect section of Trinidad and Tobago as well. They could already be getting in on that rainfall as we speak. Not seeing much activity across the northwestern Cuba Doppler radar, the Florida or the Bahamas radar, ABC Islands radar, but we do see some moisture to the east of Trinidad and Tobago, affecting sections of that looks like northeastern Venezuela. We also see some rainfall right here to the southeast of Belize, affecting section of northwestern Honduras. And if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3Z on Tuesday when calculated. It's about all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. So we should be receiving rainfall, especially where we have these oranges and reds. That's anywhere from 0.75 for an inch of rainfall up to an inch of rainfall. And we're talking about section of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, section of central to western Colombia, southern and eastern Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana. And we clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are adamant about that forecast. You can also see rainfall in store anywhere from St. Vincent northward, so St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, section of the U.S. Virgin Islands, eastern Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, eastern Cuba, northern Cuba, section of northeastern or eastern Jamaica for sure. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.